Good day, you beautiful people of YouTube. It's the Mad Marine here. Now, doesn't it feel good to be gangster? Now, today we've got a Glock 23, but before we start, could you be so kind and smash that subscribe button? That really helps us out here at the channel. Now, let's do a quick safety check. Now, as you can see, there is nothing in the barrel, there is no magazine inserted, and there is nothing on the slide. So we are good to go. And Glocks do not have a traditional safety, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger in a somewhat safe direction, and we'll release the trigger and firing pin. And it springs. Now, what is the Glock 23? The Glock 23 is a compact pistol in .40 Smith & Wesson. It's the same size as a Glock 19. Now, before 2020, you could get a Leo trade-in Glock 23 for about $299 to about $350. Now, I know you're kicking yourselves right now, and hindsight's 2020, and that's the year, and that's just not even funny right now, actually. As a Leo trade-in, these pistols don't have a lot of street credit. Most of these 23s were detectives or desk jockeys or desk duty guns, so they really weren't particularly used a lot. Maybe not a lot of holster wear. They weren't shot too much, little holster wear. Almost all of these will have night sights, but anyway, this is what night sights look like. You won't be able to tell it in the video that they actually work, but anyway, so most of them will have night sights. They might work, they might not when you get them. Most of them were coming with a box and at least 2 to 3 mags. Some even had the cleaning gear, or some were even brand new in box, just sitting in an armory at a police station, never even being used. Kind of sad, but sometimes you got lucky like that. Now the current price points are about $450 to $550. So let's talk about this Glock real quick. Now this actually originally was a Gen 2, and it's actually now Gen 3, sort of, not really. But it's closer to Gen 3 than it is a Gen 2. What happened was, Craig and them, anyway, what happened is simply this actually had a small crack in the slide. Now the gun still ran 100%, but when I took it to Glock to get inspected, they showed me that there were actually a small crack, and they replaced it for free because they're gangster. They have great customer service. Before COVID, you could actually go visit Glock in Smyrna, Georgia, and they would just do a quick inspection and then replace any parts that were worn or were out of date. Change out magazines for you if they happen to be worn. If you had low capacity magazines, they'll trade out your low capacity for high capacity, or if you're in one of those terrible states that doesn't let you have high capacity magazines, they'll get you low capacity. So really helpful folks, and it was all for free with the exception of the night sights. Those were like $65. So this is my Glock 23 Gen 2, 3 kind of thing going on. But anyway, great gun so far. Now, one of the things I did do is I did get the slide coated because I liked it. I thought it would bump up my street credit, and it seemed gangster at the time to do, so why not? One cool thing about this Glock 23 is you can, one cool thing about Glock 23s in general is you can actually convert these to shoot 9mm very easily. And here's a couple 9mm barrels, and we'll talk about these in just a minute. But all you need to do to convert this to shoot 9mm, to make your Glock even more gangster, to have more options, no, just more options, not more gangster, simply buy a 9mm conversion barrel. And that will cost you about $100 to $200, depending on what coating you go with, and also depending if you get it ported or threaded barrels. May cost a little bit more, but most standard non-threaded barrels that don't have any fancy coating are about $100, and if you get something a little more fancy, maybe $150 to $200. Now let's go ahead and talk about magazines. The question may be, will 40 magazines work with the 9mm conversion barrels? The answer is yes, but maybe not reliably. So they would be fine for the range. However, I would not recommend them. They would not be very gangster in a self-defense scenario. I wouldn't recommend them in that. With the exception, however, for some odd reason, these older Leo, and you can see right here, I've painted in red my 40 mags. They say Leo only, law enforcement only. For some odd reason, these 40 mags seem to run 9mm absolutely perfectly. I have no idea why, but they do. The other mags, not so much. So I don't know if that helps you. Also, you can get aftermarket mags as well. No, I have no idea about the reliability of the aftermarket mags. I really don't run them. I have a couple of P mags, but they're run in a different gun and just not something I use. Now, this particular firearm was actually my CCW for about 3 years. Great gun. I did have Glock put night sights on it when I got it, and I did have it coated. They inspected it, replaced all the internals. Great experience. At Glock, I've been there several times. I've never had any issues with this thing ever, even when the frame was cracked, 100% reliability. Now, why in the world would you want to get this over a 19? Simply, it's more gangster. No. You want options. Options are the best thing for you, especially in this environment we're currently seeing. So now you can shoot 2 calibers out of one gun for the cost of, or under or about, a new Glock 19. Which, you know, is kind of gangster if you can shoot 2 calibers out of one gun. You have good options. Now, currently, 40 Smith & Wesson is actually cheaper than my 9mm. Who would have thought, right? 9mm is about 60 cents around online and is sold out in most stores or very limited quantities where they're only allowing you to buy a few boxes. And all my homies are really sad about that. Now, 40 Smith & Wesson is about 40 cents online and about 18 to 40 cents in stores, and they're in stock. Pretty gangster. Now, I feel like Mad Dog 2020 would be a great sponsor to this video, but I'm very cheap and I'll do shameful things for money. So, now, one thing I want to talk about is you can also do this with other Glocks. You can do this with other size Glocks, whether it's a 17 or a 20, well, I'm sorry, with a 22 or a 35, or you can also change out from like 10mm to 45 ACP. So there are options for other conversion barrels for your Glocks. You just need to go figure out which was the right barrel for your Glock so you can shoot different calibers. So basically you can go from something bigger to something smaller, if that helps. And if you need help, feel free to reach out and contact me. Subscribe, like, reach out if you need any help, comment in the comment section. In below, there's always a link in the description with a reference sheet and cost. Mad Marine, signing off.